Hello everyone. So welcome to today's video where I will be basically building this section from the stripe.com website where we have 4 different brands and it's kind of like a testimonial milestone section, right? It's about their enterprise reinvention, and basically I'm going to rebuild this in Framer. I thought this was quite a cool challenge to do. I was thinking of doing the Notion website, but I thought it was pretty easy. So I kind of wanted to do this one because it looks a little bit more difficult. But if you guys want me to see, if you guys want to see me build the Notion website, please let me know, and I'll do another video on that. So without further ado, let's get started on building this section. So we start with a blank Framer project, and what we want to do is obviously click here and add the tablet and phone version so we can always design responsively. We also want to rename the project just for organization. It always starts as untitled, but we want to name it so we have it organized in our dashboard. And by the way, at the end of this video, I will have a finished template, and it will be for free for you to remix. It will be in the description below. So feel free to check that out if you want to have that and put this in your projects, right? So, okay, so let's get started. We go back to Chrome, we have this section. Let me go back to the BMW one. Let me go like this and take a nice screenshot. And let's go back to Framer and let's bring our screenshot here. So what we want to do is we want to basically copy this, right? We have our layers panel, and on our layers we have 3 empty canvases. This one being the primary. That means that whenever you design on this primary, all the changes reflect below in these tablet and phone screens, right? So we have that, and we have our screenshot right here. So let's just put a screenshot stripe. And right now we just want to bring this here. So what we want to do is we see that there is a frame, right? So let me try to draw this out first. I always love to do this so that you guys can understand basically what, hold on, let me first lock this by clicking here. Now it's locked, and now what we want to do is we want to just draw a frame. So this is going to be the main frame. So let me just remove this and put a border, a dark blue border would be nice, a little bit thick so you can see it. Okay, so we have this main frame, right? So this frame we got to add to the project. Before doing so, we want to add the subframe. So we have, first of all, we have a frame. So this frame on the top would be basically called the frame, the main frame that you can just copy paste to your own site, and it will contain everything underneath, right? That would be the parent frame. And then this frame would be the max width frame. So it's going to have a max width, right? Because if we go back to this page, you can see that there's a max width on everything, right? So if there would be no max width, this would basically go all the way to the right and left, but we wanted to keep it nice in the center, right? So we need that section in the middle, this frame in the middle, to keep that in place. So this one would be the max width. This one would fill out the page, this outer frame, and this frame would have the max width, right? So this would be the max width frame, and this would be the parent. And then underneath, let's just start changing the colors a bit so we can see it a little bit clearer. We have, let's put it like light blue. We have this frame where we have number 1, section number 1, and we have section number 2. So we have the top container, which is going to be the text. And okay, let's just ignore these things, right? So this one is going to be the text one, this is going to be for the content. And then underneath that, we can just go like this, and this is going to be each element, right? So the yellow, this like yellow green is going to be the content of the, it's going to be the, okay. Let's just duplicate this if I can. It shouldn't be so complicated. Here we go. So each thing is going to be its own little element. And over here, well, let's make this one purple because it's going to be a component. So this purple thing is going to be the component, right? And inside of this component, we're going to have the left side, or actually, let's bring this blue one, we're going to have the left side, or the top, the bottom, and then we're going to have the left, and the right, and then we're going to have, you know, the next things, which are going to be the other elements, which are basically, we can put like another color, like something like orange. It's basically going to be these things, right? So as well, these two things. So that basically, in a nutshell, that's how our section will look like once it's done. So let's proceed in building it. So we're going to first do this outer frame, right? So for the outer frame, I would just click on a frame and basically draw it on the canvas like this. So we have our parent frame. We want to turn on the layout so it becomes a stack, right? And then what we want to do is we want to add the second stack. So we want to just duplicate this and add the max width stack to parent. And we want the max, let's first of all also make this height fit the content. And we want the parent to not have a fill. We want it to be a fill here in the width, which is perfect. And we want the max, this thing, to have a, also with a fill, but we want it to have a max width of, let's say, 1200, yeah. So we have that max width, that's good. And then under that max width, we want the top and the bottom. The bottom will end up being a, what you call it, a component. So bear with me, let's just move everything and organize everything so that everything's good. So the bottom one, the top one is going to be a simple stack. So let's just do that and let's call it top, and bottom. And as you can see, they're right and left. So wait, let's just remove these colors so you can see right and left. We want to make it top and bottom. So like this, vertical instead of horizontal. So now we have the space for this text. So we want the height to be fill, and we want for the same one, the height also to be filled. So now it's filled. Eventually it's going to be fit to content, but we got to just add the content first, right? We don't want to have a max width for this, so let's just remove this. Remove. So, but the width is fill, so that's good. We're going to eventually change the heights of these, but let's just add the content first. So what do we see here? We see, okay, let me see. So we see this text, and we see that there's like this line here. And I think what I'm going to do with this line is that I'm going to, we see a line on the left and the right. And we also have like a few lines here, which is interesting. So what we can do with these lines is that for this max width one, maybe we can decrease the max width a little bit by making it like this, or maybe even smaller, like 1040. So for this max width one, The only styling that it's going to have is the border. And it's going to be, let's put 0 for now, but for the left and right, it's going to be 1 and 1. So we can see this black border here, but we want to reduce that to about 10%. So now we see like this 10%, which is looking good. Okay, so now we want to add the text. So we want to go let's write enterprise reinvention. And let's bring this into our thing here. Perfect. So these three have the same gap, but this one is a bit closer. So let's just keep that in mind. So boom, boom. And we want this top to be like this. So bring agility to, let's just copy and paste the text. There we go. Framer. And let's get this second one to go back to Framer. And we want the fill to be, the width to be fill. There we go, beautiful. And we want this to be like this, so it's all aligned nicely. We want to grow this. And we see that the links are kind of, you know, strangely colored. So let's actually first get a frame and see what color this stripe branding purple is. So we can just get our color picker and go to the button and go like this, and we have it. So let's save it as stripe purple. So we have the stripe purple, and we want to keep this like this. We can just delete this for now. We already saved the color. And we can just go to our links here and add a style, new style, edit the link to be stripe purple. Hover is going to be stripe purple, and current stripe purple. And we can make this medium because those kind of are bold. What was the other one? Certified partners and Stripe have marketplace. So certified partners, we want to also add a style, and we want to adjust the font and this one as well. So let's get this and scroll down here, and we want this to be bold. And as you can see, there's like a little bit of a padding here on the left. So we can add the padding to this top one to be on the left and right. We can add like maybe 20 or 10, I'd say. Let's put 20 just to be safe. So 2020. And now let's kind of style this. This is not black, it's purple. And it's bigger than 16 pixels, I would say maybe 18. This one, the line, oh well, let's go step by step. This one has a kind of semi-bold and maybe 36 in size, and we can use like a different font, like let's say I don't know. Doesn't really matter for now, right? And then we can adjust the line here. So it looks something like this, right? Just like here. And then here, we don't want it to be filled, but we want it to be fixed. We can either make it fixed. I would say making it fixed would be the best option. We can make it fixed, and we can adjust the sizing to be like this, because you can see the Salesforce, perfect. So now we have that, and we would want these to be the top stack of the top stack. So what do I mean? Why is it like that? Because these have the same gap, which we already added, which was like about, oh well, now we gotta add it again, which is about 20. right? And then we gotta add another one with the button, because the button seems to be closer in the gap than these. That's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. So first of all, let's just create the button. So by creating the button, I just get this text, which seems to be the same size. Actually, these seem to be the same size, so I'm gonna decrease the size of this. It just is like a little bit semi-bold. Perfect. And we want this maybe to be a little bit less in terms of opacity. And adjust my seat, sorry. So we have this, and we want to make it a white color. White color with a semi-bold. And we want to say explore. Let's just copy the paste, copy the text, copy the paste. Framer, boom. And then what we can do is we can right click, add stack. This stack is going to be fit content, so it fits the content of the button. We can make the fill stripe purple, and then we can look here and see kind of the padding. There's a little bit less padding on the top and bottom than on the left and right. So we can click on this, go to the padding section, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also on the bottom 5, and then the right, left 10, maybe 15. And here as well 15, and that looks about it. And then what we do is we add the radius to something like this. Okay, maybe we can increase the padding a little bit on the top and bottom, so there's more space kind of for the text to breathe. That looks about right. Now we want to add this little interaction. So basically here there's no interaction if I hover, only here. So we can actually do that as well by going to Framer and clicking on this thing and clicking here, editing the style. And as you hover, let's remove this. As you hover, it's a black. So if we were to play, it become black. Okay. So that's one thing, and then we have this part at the bottom. So we have the button. Let's create a component from this button. Let's call it button component. We want to add an icon, feather icon. We want it to be an arrow right. And we can make it like this, and we can put that one on the right side, and obviously decrease the size a bit to be about 20 pixels in width. And okay, so now we have this. How does it okay, so so it starts off like this, and then it has like an arrow at the end, and it's black with the hover. Okay, so what we can do is we go back to Framer. We go, let's rename this to like main, and then we click on hover, and hover would be black. Hover would be black, and instead of this one, what we can do is we can manually draw it. I've never really done this, but we can just try to see how it works. Vector? No. So if you click on G, you can get this vector thing, right? So you can create this graphic. I can make it about 20 pixels. And then I can create a vector inside of this. choose this pointer again. Let's go back here. Let's go here again. Let's click on this. And I want to just start off from here. What I can do is I can also go to Figma and do it from there and then import it here as an SVG. So now I just imported this arrow from Figma that I drew like this. So I just exported it as an SVG, imported it here. I still think it's kind of complicated to make these graphics in Framer, but eventually it will like we can do it. Whatever. So we have this. We want to make it a white color. And what we want to do is that for this one, we want this to be like this. Sort of, kind of. And for this one, we want it to be like this. Oops. Oh God. Okay. So I guess I did something wrong. This one has to start off with, oops. With this path invisible? No. Okay. Patience, patience. Let me try to fix this and move on. So what I ended up doing here is just increasing the gap a little bit because we don't really care about this animation so much. We can do it, but it's going to take a little bit more time. But basically, this is the button. Let's just put it in here. Let's go back to our layers. So we have the stack one, we have the button. So now the top gap is going to be 10 or 20, and then this gap is going to be 20. So we can, for example, just decrease this gap to be about 10, which I don't think makes much of a difference. So maybe this should go here, and we just keep it in the same one. So we don't really need this stack anymore because I thought it was like less space, but it seems to be the same. All right, so now actually let's make this arrow a bit smaller. Something like this. Oh God. Perfect. I made it a bit smaller, but it still works. Okay, so now let's remove this ugly blue from the top. Boom. Now, as you can see, we have this nice little thing here, like here. Okay, now comes the tough part. And the tough part is basically making this component down here. Let's first make this size fit in terms of the height, fit the content. So we have the height now like this, and we want to increase the padding at the top and increase the padding at the bottom to make it about 40. Perfect. So we have this top section nice. We nailed it pretty well, right? So now for phone, we would, instead of fix, we would make this fill. Same with this. We would fill this out. We would actually fill everything out just to make it, you know, nice. We can fill this as well. Perfect. And then we can have this as the phone version. All right. So now for the bottom version, we have this. And if we go back to the Stripe page, we can see that there is this is like a kind of like a frame, right? And this text is coming from under this image, and it's going under the like on the left side of the frame, and there's like no overflow, right? Because you can't really see when the text disappears, it disappears, but it's really like underneath, I think. It'll make more sense when we build it. But basically, let's try to just take a little screenshot of this and bring it over to Framer, and let's go like that, right? And what we want to do is we want to make it the same height, the same width, and we don't want there to be any padding. We want there to be padding because we want these little purple things here, as you can see. But let's first make a component out of this, and this is going to be called the switch component. Let me remove this switch component, and in the switch component we can just cut this image and put it here. And what we want to do is we want to basically so we have this main stack, this variant, and we want to add another stack. So let's draw a frame, and let's make this frame have a layout, and this is going to be for the top one, right? Because we drew here, there's like a top one, so there's a component, it's purple, and then there's the two blues, right? Top and bottom. So let's go back to our component, and we want to drag in this blue here and duplicate it. And then we want to make this like this, and we want to make this fill for now. Eventually it will be fit to the content, right? And then we have on the bottom, we have our logos. So we want to add another stack, 4 stacks basically for each logo. So we can put top, we can put bottom. And then let's just do the top one first. So the top one, we want to duplicate it and put in here, and it's going to be left. This one is going to be right. So this one is left one is going to be for the image, right one, left one for the text, right one for the image. So we can just put image. And in this image, we're going to have the top part, which is going to be this right here, and we're going to have the bottom part, which is going to be this text right here. We want to have this go like this. We want to have this image blank for now. Let's actually also delete this. So as you can see, this is boom, basically it. Left is going to have 3 stacks. 1, 2, 3. So duplicate. So 1. Let's just hit Control Command D. 2, 3. And then this one would be like this. Left, let's remove this. And then you can see that the space is smaller here. So we're gonna basically add the text and make it fit, the width fit to the content, right? So we're gonna add, and each one is gonna have, so we're gonna have the title text, and then we're gonna have this text, right? And we would want this to have a stack because it's for the title, but it has its own border. So this is a little bit tricky. So we want each text to have its own stack. How can we do this? We can do the following. We can write the text. This is going to be the title. So let's put millions. And let's make the font, I don't know, 24. And make it black for now. And then we want to add the stack, fit, always, so that it grows with the content of the text. We want to add the padding now. So the padding on the left would be around 10 or 20, I would say. And then we want that nice little border on the very left to be 1 and stripe purple. And let's put it here. Actually, we want to put it here. Perfect. And now we want to make everything here go to the start. So if we were to check here, now you can see the line is matching with that line on the very left, which is beautiful. Wow, making this with a mobile view is going to be quite tough, but it's a challenge that we're willing to take, right? So we can put it like that. We can go like this. We can make, actually, let's delete these for now because we want them kind of to be the same thing. We want this to be down. We want this to be left. Okay, we want this also to be its own stack. So let's just delete this and duplicate. Let's remove that solid on the left, and let's style the text to be, actually let's remove the background colors of everything. So this too, perfect. We want the text here to be 16, and we want it to be about 60, and this needs to fit perfect. Okay, so let's get this BMW owning using connected whatever. Go back to Framer, paste that here. And as you can see, there's going to be a type of fixed width for this. This has to be fill. And then what we can do is we can make this 1 fit the content and width, and left as well, width fit content. Okay. Okay, so then we have that, and we want to add some padding at the top and at the bottom. Okay. I want to see how this works when I duplicate this twice. Okay. So that means that the height has to fit the content. So fit content, and this has to fit content, and this has to fit content. Still not working. No problem. You see? Okay, the height is fitting the content. So this is like debugging, kind of. We have to see how we do this. Maybe the left has to have a fixed width of 250. Oh, no, sorry, 250. And this has to be like this. And then for each one of these, it has to be fill. Okay, now it works. So let's just delete these other ones. And let's duplicate this. Perfect. Okay. And this should the height should be fill. Okay, and then we want to change the background to like some type of image with some gradient, right? So that's the next challenge. So, but before that we do that, let's just increase the gap here on the left. Should be about 40. Let's put the other stuff, so 350 plus. I also see that we gotta, you know, align everything left, or no, it looks fine. It looks fine, yeah. 350 plus. US dealerships. And then this one is smaller. We can put this 16 pixels. Products. Oh. Products used. And then here we have the stack. We want to add also like a maybe like an image, right? Because this is going to be for a logo. So what we can do is we can put F and put something like this size. Put it in here with this one. So we can put this together with this, and then the stack will be like that. And then we can rename this like payments. And this has to be like this. And then we can just duplicate it another time. And then this can be connect. Connect. And then let's just basically add a placeholder. And we can add like a nice radius so it's circular. So it looks good for now. Okay. I want to change this blue. I don't like it. So let's make it gray for now. Okay, then we have this. Oh no, let's make the image first. So the image is going to have a background of an image, fill image. So we have this image. Now we have logo 1, logo 2. We have image 1, image 2. This is going to be an image, and this is going to be another image, right? So we do this, we get this. We make it a little bit bigger because it is a little bit bigger. Maybe about 40, and we put both of them here, and we make sure that it is height fit content. No, not width, sorry. Height fit content. And then we make sure that it is this space between. And we remove the background. And we make the padding here so that it looks like in the image. So where is the padding? Here it is. There we go. And then here we need another text. So let's just get this and let's put it here. And let's copy paste the text from here. So we can get this. Oops. Learn why BMW chose Stripe. Okay, we can just type it, right? Learn why BMW chose Stripe to power e-commerce and payments. So this width has to fill, this height has to fit the content, and then this one has to basically space between because it's going to go on the bottom, and this text, this bottom thing has to, you know, has to be a little bit like a fixed size. And so maybe we can do this and go like this. Perfect. And let's remove. Let's make it a little bit because we want 2 to be the last one. There we go. And we want this to go away. And we want this to be white. White text. So we can just replace this image for now just to see how it looks like. So I can get a plugin, go to Unsplash, search for BMW, and then we'll have some nice BMW image. Yeah, whatever. We want to make the border radius. So we can go here, like that. And we want to add some shadow, some nice little drop shadow. So shadow, realistic, and we can maybe increase it, a little bit more diffusion. Yeah. Well, you don't really see it because this is this image is needs padding, I guess. Is it because of that? No, it's because of the outer. So this needs to basically be in another stack. And this has to be fill, fill. And this should have some padding. Let's see if that fixes a little bit. Okay, so now you can really see the shadow, right? Actually, let's add some more padding. And actually this image should be, the height should be a little bit longer than this, you see? So this has to be kind of a longer thing here. Maybe something like this would look good. And then this goes to the top. Maybe we can decrease the size of this. Perfect. And let's decrease this a little bit, so it's not so massive, right? Okay. We want to also replace this image so that we can see something, you know, like just add a person for now. So let me just choose unsplash something. Well, doesn't really matter. Let's just continue with the next things, right? So the next thing will be these selectors. So we have the bottom. Let's just collapse everything on the top and bottom. Looking good. Let's see how it looks like here. Beautiful. Oh, actually, we need to make this fit the content. Yeah. This also needs to be fit the content. Such component needs to be fit the content. Okay. Okay, so this is the bottom part. Okay, so it's looking good, as you can see here. This, as you can see, is just the bottom part that we're still working on, right? All right, so let's do that. So the bottom part is gonna look like this. Okay, actually, before we do that, we want to add the lines here, right? But let's do the bottom part first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, it's gonna be image and the stack. So frame, and then we're gonna add another frame, and this is gonna be some type of image. Let's just decrease the size, and let's put the image thing, put it in here, and basically this will have like a specific border color at the top. So let's put like that, top border color. We can make this one softer for now. And we go like this. So we put it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wait, before we do that, we have to give this a layout. Now, stack image. This is also going to be a stack. So now we are 4. So each one is going to have a fill width until the very end. And each one will have like a border, like a dotted border on the right and left, on the right side. Okay. So for example, and there would be here no gap. So everything connected, perfect. And then for these, they're gonna be, like I said, a dotted border, solid, dotted. How does that look like? Double? No, dashed. Something like that. And then we can just decrease it to about 10. How much is the border here? What's here? 2210. Okay. And this is gonna be border 2210. Okay. So we want to do the same thing with the right side. Is there a border here? We want to do the same thing on the right side except for the last one. So 1, 2, 3. Border. Boom. That's actually for these two. Border. Right. And then we want to add a... Can we add another one? No, so let's just add here to the left. And then we got our solution. How about underneath? How does that look like underneath? Okay, no, it just continues. Okay. But what I'm worried about is that there's borders, there's these lines going up here. Maybe it's a little bit too advanced. It's going to take more time today, but we can just do the basics, right? So we got that. Now let's go back to Framer. And we want to, let's make this fit content. And let's make the bottom padding 0. And let's remove this color. Let's see how it looks like here. Good. So I guess we're almost done. Now what we want to do is we want to basically, let's add like this cool little gradient, right? So to do that, the frame has to be, actually we want these two to be outside of the frame. We want this frame to be absolute. And we want it to be relative 100. And the same with the width, with the height, sorry. Relative. We can decrease the z-index. We can add z-index. There we go. And then we can make the radius, not the radius, the whatever. The colors like this, the gradients, sorry. Yeah, looks good. Maybe this image is not the best image. Maybe we can just, choose another one. But basically, this is kind of black and white car. like that. Okay. Again, you guys can use this and you put your own stuff, right? Let's just create let's add a logo to this. So I can just, Amazon logo. I must have it somewhere. Amazon logo. And then we can make it fit. And then we can also make this smaller. And let's just delete, well, we don't want to delete that. Let's just duplicate this, bring this here. Delete this. Duplicate this, bring this here. And delete the top one. And do the same thing. And delete the top one, the bottom one now. So you kind of understand the whole, the whole logic here, right? So let's just delete the background images. And now the final thing that we want to do is just the little and also what you can do is here is also these are great, these are black and white, right? So right now for this we can just add a black and white picture. So I can go back to Figma and I can open my Amazon logo again somewhere. Amazon. And turn it black and white. Saturation. Export. Like this. Save. Go back to Framer. And replace these images with that black and white one. Right? So that's how we can do it. All right. Now what we want to do is basically we want to make, this is going to be variant 1, we're going to make variant 2, variant 3, variant 4. There's going to be 4 variants for each logo. And then for each logo, what we want to do is basically we want to switch this stack over here. Actually, no, that's not the best idea. The best idea would be to basically replace this logo with the black and white. So choose black and white and basically make choose the correct logo, the one that's not black and white, put it here, correct all these things now with the border. So add this top border up here. So if this one is going to be solid 2240 top, you want to replace that and put that here, 40 and not dotted, but not dashed, sorry, but solid and only at the top. And then what we want to do is here, make this dotted 10 at the top and right. So you want to basically make it, you basically want to just make sure that everything is organized like that. Also, we have these stacks. We can just replace the content of the stacks to, be something else. So we can call this cache. This is another text here in this card. We can put like 150 and cache and plug and play, right? And then what we do is that every time someone clicks on this, they're going to take you to variant 2. So on a click, 0 delay takes you to variant 2. So if I were to click play, it would take me to variant 2. You see? It doesn't work with this first, when I click on this, but it should be doing the same. It should, on click, take me here. So if I were to, again, press play, you see? So that's basically it. I just have to basically populate everything with new images, and then this component should be done. It's looking good, right? I see that here they have this cool animation and this hover effect, which we can also do. This would be its own component. I don't know. If you guys are interested in me doing that, I can do that right now as well. But it's going to take another longer tutorial for this, so I don't know if it's going to be good to do that. So yeah, that's basically it. I created this nice little hover effect so that whenever you click on this specific card, it takes you to the, well, and you hover over this, the text goes up and these texts change. So it's basically like a simpler version. There's obviously some animation missing, like with this switch animation, but this is basically something that you can work with and yeah, try to experiment on your own. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, the template is in the description below, and yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day.